Hello, everyone. I hope everybody is doing great. So, today I have a personal testimony that I wanted to share with you guys because, for one, all glory goes to God. And number two, if you are waiting for an answered prayer, if you're waiting for a blessing from God, I just hope that this blesses you. I hope that this encourages you to just keep going as far as just having your faith and knowing that God is there with you. God has not forgotten about you. God has not is working it out, but God has worked it out already. And just trust in him and do not give up on him. Because right when you're about to give up is when your miracle was right there around the corner. So I just want you to keep having faith and keep knowing that God is hearing you and that God has worked it out. So I hope this blesses you. Let's get right into it. So, June of last year, 2025, I got into a car accident and I had to go to the emergency room due to back pains. I was at the emergency room, I want to say about half a day, including the wait. And thankfully, I was able to be discharged that same day because they didn't find any injuries or broken bones or anything, at least according to the doctor's reports. And it was just like normal soreness. So I was discharged with prescriptions for pain meds that I had to take for about 3 weeks, which was helpful because by then I was back to my normal self. And mind you, before discharge, I provided my medical information to the hospital so that way they can send the bill over to them and they'll have it covered. To my surprise, a few months later, I'm receiving a letter and a call from the collection saying that I still had an outstanding bill that I did not pay the hospital and that I needed to cover that. And I was very shocked because, for one, I'm thinking I already provided you guys my medical information. I have full coverage. How do I still owe anything? So I'm looking at these bills. The total bill was roughly $7,000. And the insurance covered partial of that. And I had roughly $4,000 that I had to pay out of pocket. So I called the insurance and they explained to me, hey, you've exhausted your medical coverage. We paid all that we still have remaining for you. And and that was $2,000. I think $2,500 was what they paid. And I was so stressed. I already had a lot going on. And I'm still in the season where I'm still in my rebuilding stage. So now I have a lot of other responsibilities that I'm already trying to navigate through. And here comes a whole new bill that I have to account for. And I have been so stressed. I have been stressed out because I'm like, how am I going to pay this? How am I going to pay this? I remember that week I was having like sleepless nights because I'm like, God, I can't do this. So I remembered that I have a great God, a God that is bigger than anything because he that is in me is greater than anything of this world. I remember praying that night for God to come through for me. I said, God, help me with a solution because with everything that I have going on right now, I know that I cannot afford to pay this bill, at least in a timely manner, because I have a lot of things that I have to take care of. So the next day, my mom was like, hey, I heard of this program at that hospital that they have where they can help with, medical assistance, especially with everything that you have going on right now. So we gathered the paperwork, we filled it out, I put every document that they were requesting for. And I remember that week I was already fasting anyway. Every month I fast for a particular number of days. And I remember I sealed that envelope and I prayed over it. I remember I prayed over it. And then I went to the hospital to drop it off. And I just had a different sense of peace. I just had a different sense of peace, like God will come through for me. So a few days after I was done fasting, I received an email from the hospital. And I'm not gonna lie, I was so nervous. I waited till the next day to look at it. And God said and did exactly what he said he was going to do. And that was covering that bill. I remember the letter saying, hey, we've accepted your medical assistant request. And then not only that, they say that they will cover every medical bill that I had that year from January 1st to December 31st. And I have been emotional this week. I have been so emotional because how can you repay God for his greatness? Like, how can I repay him back? There's no way. God may not come through as fast as we always want him to come through, but just know that he will come through timely. And I've been in this praise mode because how can I repay him? But give God the glory. Give God the glory. Be in obedience. Live in alignment with him. There's so many of us going through a lot right now, right? And no matter how big your storm may seem right now, just know that God is going to come through for you. There's nothing that God cannot do. I'm sharing this testimony because I initially did not even know where I would be able to pay off this medical bill. And not only that, I didn't want to be sent to collections. You know, I don't want to be sent. I don't know how things work again around the world. But here, I mean, being sent to collections and your credit score being destroyed, like, what? You know? But my point is that just know that there's nothing that God can't solve. There's nothing that God can't do. There's nothing that God cannot come through for you for. Do not give up. When I make these videos and I'm encouraging y'all to keep fighting, keep going, you know, your blessing is around the corner, it's because I'm going through it myself. I cannot advise you to do something that I'm not doing. And that is being faithful and knowing that God is going to come through for me. I've had high days. I have had the lowest days where I feel like I just want to sleep. That's the only time that I can shut off my brain. But when you believe in God, when you leave everything else aside and just believe that God will come through for you, there's a different type of peace that you experience, even in the middle of the storm. There's a lot of peace that you will experience. You're still going through the storm, but there's a lot of peace in knowing that God is going to resolve it and God is going to come through. So, I hope that this blessed you. I hope that this encouraged you to keep going. I hope that this amplified your faith even more for you to know that worrying is not going to solve anything, but believing that God will work it out will give you a lot of peace. And your blessing is right around the corner. Believe it. Anyway, hope that you guys will have a blessed day, and I'll see you in the next video.